Hi everyone, I'm Sanan, and in this video you'll learn everything there is to know about inheritance in Godot, see how to implement that, how to use that, and what is inheritance exactly. This video is a part of an ongoing series known as your first game, and for some reason if you want to follow this video for this particular topic itself, you can get the starter pack from the GitHub link in the description below. Let's get started. So first of all, I would like to continue a small portion of the tile set and tile map that I've covered in my previous video, and for that what I basically want is to save this tile set as a resource. So if you go to this level and click on this ground, which is our tile set, and if you go here and if I zoom this in and if I click on this drop down, I have a couple of options, and what I am concerned with is this save as. So what I'll do is click on this save as, and that would open this panel where we can actually save. So I want to save this tile set, and this tile set is actually for a level, and so I would save that in the levels directory, and I would name this as whatever is the directory name. So this was for palm tree island tile set. So given that, I'll just save that. And similarly for the level 2 that I created, this one, what I want to do is again go here on this tile set, click on this drop down, go down and click on this save as. If I zoom out, you see we already have the previous tile set, and I would name this as pirate ship tile set, right? This is the pirate ship directory, so save that. So now basically what I want to do is to delete this level and actually create a new level which would actually inherit the properties. So let us understand what is inheritance. So inheritance, as the word suggests, it inherits. So you as a person, you are inheriting some of the properties that your parents were having, and that is exactly the logic of inheritance. So you might have black hair like one of your parent, you could have your bone structure could be one of your parents, or not just a parent but grandparent, or maybe a level up. So you could have a lot more properties. You can also inherit behaviors of your parents, such as the way they walk, the way they talk, the language they speak. So there are different things that you can inherit. One is genetic, one is acquired, but the point is you can have some properties which are similar to your parents, but you do also have some properties which are not like your parents at all. So you could technically talk in a way that none of your ancestors did. So you have a property which is different from everyone, and that is an addition to all the properties you've inherited. So you can have a list of properties that you can inherit, as well as you can have some properties of your own, and that is the whole idea of inherit. Now we'll see in action what that exactly means. So what I'll do is I'll create a new scene. So in that I'll use this 2D scene, and I would name this as level base. So in the concept of inheritance, we have some terms like the base class, the derived class, the parent, the child, and things like that. So I'll go with this nomenclature, which is level base. So I'll press enter, and what does level have? So if I see till now, what I've done is I have a node 2D, right? And it has a tile map. I have a pirate and it has a camera. So these properties are common in level 1 as well as in level 2. So what I'll do is go into this new level, and I'll instantiate a new node, which is the node 2D, and this would be the tile map layers. This would contain all the tile map layers that we have. And similarly, what I'll do is I would also have a tile map layer in it. So I'll click on this add a child scene, and in this I'll search for tile map layer, and I'll take this and make this as a child to this, and I'll just name this as tile map, press enter, and that is good. So now what we are left with is the pirate and the camera 2D. I'll go back to this, I'll just zoom out, and I'll try to instantiate the pirate itself. So for that, press this or Control Shift and A. Doing that, this would open all of these scenes that you have till now. And what I want is this pirate scene, and that would be placed somewhere here. So I'm not worried about where exactly this pirate is placed, because we'll later on manipulate everything. And this pirate also has one more thing, which is the camera itself. So I'll click on this plus and I'll search for camera 2D and make that as a child to the pirate. And if you observe, or if you remember, in our previous tutorials I had changed the zoom of this camera here as 4. See, so this is technically the camera, the scene that we have. So this is our level base. So every level that I would create should have these properties, or should inherit these properties, which is it should have a node 2D which would contain all the tile map layers, which would have the tile map. Next we would have the character itself, which is the pirate, because we are actually going to control that. And finally there would be a camera 2D following the pirate. So that is everything. And now what I can do is actually save this scene. So Control plus S, that would allow me to save this, and click on save. Now what I want is to actually create this palm tree island as a level. So what I'll do is I'll click on this plus or scene and just observe. Now if I click on this new scene, that is exactly clicking this this plus, not this plus but this plus. So if I click on the scene, I have an option of new scene, but I do have an option of new inherited scene. So if I click on that, and now I can choose the scene from which I can extract or inherit the properties. So I'll use this level base scene, and given that we have this new scene. So if you see, this is our new scene and the level base is exactly same as this new unsaved scene. But if you observe, there is only one difference, and that difference is here, the color of these nodes. So the thing is, in this level base all of these are white in color, and in this new unsaved scene we have them as yellow. So this is the way that Godot tells us that these nodes that you have are inherited, and you cannot technically manipulate the structure, although you can, but try not to. Okay, so every scene that I have would have a tile map layer, tile map, pirate, and a camera 2D. We are good with that. And now what I want is to save this scene, and I would save this as level or palm tree island level, and I would save that as a scene, and yeah, save this. Now let us okay, so what I've done is actually save this as a palm tree island level. And now what I want to do is to actually create the level, right? We need the platform, we need the tile map, and for that I'll go into this tile map, and in this tile map you see the tile set is actually empty. So I can click on this, and either I can click on new tile set and do everything that we did in the previous video, or we could just load the tile set that we saved at the start of the video. So I want this palm tree island tile set, and that is good. And now if I go to terrain and platform 0, I can just draw out the level, and I don't have to make anything from scratch again, and this would actually do our job. So we are good. So we did not have to recreate the tile set and auto tiling from scratch again. Anyways, pressing Ctrl plus S to save the scene, and if I press this F6 or run current scene, I can actually play this level. Okay, so that is working fine. I'll close this. Okay, so now what I want is to have another level which would have the other tile set. So for that I'll go into the scenes, click on this new inherited scene. I'll zoom out, and again I'll use this level base as the base scene, and again you see we have all the properties exactly as this level base, just we do have a change in the color. Now what I'll do is I'll save the scene, Ctrl plus S, and I'll save this as pirate ship level. Okay, and with that I can save this, and we are good to go. Again, in this tile map you see here, if you go on the right and this is empty, click on this. Either if you have a new tile set, click on that. I'll just load this, and this would be in our level scene, and this would be pirate ship tile set. And for this what I could do is actually go on this, and first of all I can select a larger area of a rectangle and make this as the background of this pirate ship, and next I can use this platform 0 to actually create my platform, something like this. So we're good with this. I can save the scene, and I can actually run this particular scene. So again, we have again a working level. This is fine, this is good, we are good with this. So close this, and now with this, what I am seeing is my level 1 and level 2 are technically useless. We don't want that. So what I'll do is go into this bottom panel, levels, and actually delete this level 1 and level 2. So this would ask, or this would give a confirmation prompt to actually confirm this delete operation. So I'll remove this level 2, I'll delete it from here as well. Don't save, I'll delete this level scene as well, and I'll delete the level scene from the bottom as well. So now there's one issue. So if I go back to this palm tree island level, and if I press this run on the top right, that would cause an issue, since our level scene was the main scene in our project, and now we don't have a main scene anymore. So what I want is this palm tree island level to be the main scene. So select current, and yep, we are good with this. I can close this, and what's next? So I've shown you this level base, and we have just in a way copied all these layers in this new node or new scene, and which can be treated as its own separate level. Now what I wanted to show you is, let's say in this level base, right, if I take this camera 2D from this and make this as a child to this level base, so you see this camera 2D is now the child of this level and not of the pirate. And if I save this scene, so now if I go on the other levels which has inherited this scene, you would see the camera 2D is now again in this a child of this level base. Similarly for the pirate ship level, again this camera 2D is a child of this level base. So if I take this camera 2D and make this as a child of this pirate again and save this, we would see the same properties here in this level, pirate ship level and the palm tree island level. Okay, so before going on with this tutorial, what I want is to name this, change the name of this level base. I'll take this and name this as pirate ship level, and save this one as palm tree island level, just to have a good naming structure so it is easier for anyone to understand and read the code. Okay, so we have two levels, we have a level base. So for now I don't need this level base anymore, at least for this tutorial, but we are going to change a lot of this in this level base. Okay, so I'll close this, and for this palm tree I want to decorate it a bit more, and I don't want this pirate ship level for now or this tutorial anymore. Okay, so here we have this, and what I'll do is I'll modify this I'll modify this tile map for a moment, something like that, and I can save this. Okay, so now what I want are some of the assets to be placed in the scene so that the scene actually looks good, and for that I will again use the concept of inheritance. So let's create a new scene, and in the scene what I want is to have, I'll just show you. If you go into this palm tree island sprites, you have something known as back palm trees, and if you click on this you have multiple palm trees. So if you see here, we have multiple types of palm trees. One is back palm trees, one is front palm tree, right? We have a couple of front palm trees, we have a couple of back palm trees. And now what I want is to actually first create a palm tree and show you how this exactly works. We just zoom out, and what I want is a 2D scene, and I would name this as back palm tree. And in this, what I want is, you see, we basically have an animation. For this left one, we have 4 animations. For this middle one, we have 4 animations. If you go below, again, you have 4 animations. So for animations, let's use animated sprite 2D. So for this, what I'll do is go here, click on this plus, I'll just zoom out, and I'll search for animated sprite 2D, this one, and I'll take that and I'll rename this to leaves. I'll rename that to leaves. Now you see, you do have this error. So that error is because what? So that error is because if you go here, go on to this animations, click on this, and you don't have any sprites. So click on that, new sprite frames, click on this sprite frames again, and that would open this bottom panel. So I'll rename this to movement. So the leaves are actually moving in this and that is why I've named this as movement. So what I'll do is I'll take these 4 palm trees. What I'll do is I'll drag this and place it here. Okay, so if you just zoom it in, and if you see here, I can save this scene as, I'll go back and I'll create a new folder and I'll name this as palm trees. Okay, so I'll save that as in the palm trees directory, save, and if you actually press play, you see the leaves are moving. As this asset pack, all of the animations are working at 10 frames per second, so I'll keep that at 10 frames per second. Again, just save this scene and we are good with this. So if I go back to this palm tree island and if I just click here, what I'll do is in this, I'll click here, I'll add a new child node, which would be the node 2D itself. And what I want to name this as back palm trees. And in this, what I'll do is click on this instantiate child scene. And when you do that, you would have an option to select this back palm tree. So if I click on that, I have this back palm tree, and let's say I place it right there. Okay, so let's place it right there, and technically this should be behind the tile set, but we'll take care of that. So let's click on Ctrl S to save, and if I play this level, nothing happens here. So I'll close this, and the reason for that is if I go to back palm tree, I want to set this as autoplay on load. So I'll click on that, and that would actually autoplay when I actually start this level. So if I play this game, this is actually moving. So technically the player should be in front of this, the palm tree should be behind the tile set and the player. So what I'll do is I'll close this and I'll go back to this palm tree island. I'll go onto the right and in this ordering, and for this I'll change the Z index here. See, the Z index is basically telling you the ordering in which the elements would be rendered on the screen. If you have a negative Z index, so that technically means it is behind, and you have a positive number, it's in front. So let's take this as -1. And once I do that, we are good with this. So you see, when I change this to -1, the tree automatically went behind the tile set, as well as it would be behind the pirate as well. The other way would be is to directly drag this back palm tree towards the root. So okay, let's try to play this level and see this is good enough for me. And now I'll close this, and what you'll see is we have back palm tree regular here as well as back palm tree right. So what we have to do next is repeat the same process 2 more times. But if you observe, we just discussed a property of inheritance, and with inheritance we don't have to repeat anything at all. So what I'll do is click on this new scene, and before that I'll go in this back palm tree, is I'll select all of them, and I would actually delete these frames, and I'll save the scene, and I'll click on this, I'll go to the scene, click on the scene, and I'll click on this new inherited scene, and in this I'll take this back palm tree and I'll name this as back palm tree left. Okay, save that, and in the sleeves I'll click on the sleeves, and that will open this panel. And if you see, we already have a sprite frames here selected. We do have this movement animation, we have this autoplay on load, we have this 10 frames per second by default. So what I just need to do is take all of these 4 animations or sprites and directly place it here, and doing that nothing happens. So what is the issue? The issue is this back palm tree, the animation here is saying that I would be same for each and every child for me, but what we want is to not have that. Every child of this scene could have their individual assets. So for that, go here, click on this resource, and if you see, there is something as local to scene. Click on that, and once you do that and save the scene, if you go to this new back palm tree left that we made, now we do have an option to select all of these sprites and drag it into this, and now we have this animation going on. So I'll just save the scene as back palm tree left, save it. If we go back to our original palm tree island level, this one, you see there is a node back palm tree, but there is nothing there. And the reason for that is this back palm tree does not have any animations anymore. So what I'll do is go there and actually delete this node because we don't need it, and in place of that I'll click here I'll instantiate a new child scene, which would be the back palm tree left. Click on that and we can actually place it there. So let me just save the scene and try this out. See, we are good with this. I can close this, and now what I'll do is go to the scene and again new inherited scene, and I would go to this palm trees and I would inherit from this back palm tree. So click on that and this would again create an inherited scene using the back palm tree as a base. So in this, the leaves, and in this animation, what I'll use is this, the regular tree animation. I'll just drag that and I'll just rename this back palm tree regular. Okay, I can save this scene, save this, and now if I go back to this main level scene, what I will do is click here, instantiate a child scene and the regular palm tree, place it there, save this, and you can run this. And once you do that, now you have 2 of these palm trees, and similarly it's now your job to do the third one. Okay, so I'm assuming you have done till now, so let's just do it once again. Scene, new inherited scene, inherit the palm trees, so back palm tree. In the sleeves, just select the palm tree right, place it there, and just rename those to right. And now you can just save the scene and save. You're done with that. And if I go back to this main level, I can instantiate a new palm tree, the right palm tree. So given that, I can place it there. See, I can save this, and now if I run the scene, we have all 3 types of back palm trees which are there, which are below, which are before the player and before the tile set, and you can actually place it anywhere. But there is nothing that you can do to actually collide with these trees, because for the collision you have a different asset, which is the front palm trees. So let's go ahead with that front palm tree. So I'll close this, and okay, so I'm done with this back palm trees. What I'll do is I'll just close all of this trees, and I can technically close the pirate as well, so I don't need that. But in this palm tree island level, what I could do is I can create a new node, which would be the node 2D, which would be the front palm trees. Okay, so we had a back one, now we have a front one as well. And for that, if you see the front palm trees, the assets are a bit different, right? And the reason for that is they are actually treated in a different way, because it is assumed that these leaves that you have here in this back palm tree, these are common for all of these front palm trees. So what I'll do is again use the concept of inheritance. So what I'll do is I'll save this scene first of all, and next I'll do is create a new scene, 2D scene, and I would name this as front palm tree. Okay, save that. And for this we need a node which is the animated sprite 2D, and I would name this as leaves. And in this, what I could do is go here on this animation, sprite frames, new sprite frames, click on the sprite frames. This would open the default panel. Click on this, I'll name this as movement, change the frame rate to 10 frames per second, and click on autoplay on load as well as the looping part. And for this, what I'll do is I'll take all of these 3 or 4 sprites and place it there. Now what I could do is just zoom this in, and if I press play, we have a working tree. So I can save this in the palm trees folder, which is front palm tree, save that, and we are good to go. Okay, so now we do have a moving tree, but if you observe on this bottom left, we have all the trunks, different types of stems in a single image. So I just drag this onto the screen. You see, we have the regular one, we have the right one, we have the left one. We do have these ones as well as some grasses as well, but we're not going to use that as of this particular video. So again, for this we'll again create the front palm tree left, right, and regular one. So what I'll do is, first of all, I'll just delete this node, and what I'll do is I'll add a new node, would be a sprite 2D, and this sprite 2D I would name this as stem. Now technically I did not have to delete the previous one because that was in itself a sprite 2D, but why not? So what I'll do is in this texture here, what I'll do is I'll take this front palm bottom thing and place it there, and that would add this to our scene. But I don't want all the 4 types of stem in this particular image. I want to cut a part of it. So what I'll do is click on this region and click on this enabled. So that is good enough. And now you'll see how you choose a particular stem from this. So I'll save this, and now let's actually inherit this scene. So I'll click on this scene, new inherited scene, and I would use the front palm tree as the base scene. So click on that and see, you have leaves and you have stem, but this would be the regular tree, right? Okay. And for the stem, click on the stem and see here, there is something known as the edit region. Click on that and zoom out. You would see something like this. So now if you scroll up on your mouse wheel, it would zoom in, and if you press the middle mouse button, you can actually move this around. So just zoom in, and on this, click on the snap mode as pixel snap, and just try to set this so that you can only see the regular one. Okay, so just zoom it in and try to make it as pixel perfect as possible. And once you're done with that, just close this, and you see you do have this stem. So what I'll do is I'll take this and place it just below there so that it is aligned properly, something like that. So yeah, that is good. So we have this vertical thing. What you could also do is you can just shift this up and actually go back to this front palm tree and change the ordering of the stem before the leaves. Save this, go back to this new scene, and this would technically now be behind this tree. So what you could do is to reduce the length of the stem. You could actually place it something like that. Okay, so no one would actually notice or understand that you did something like this. So that is good. So we have this regular version. Okay, so I'll just save this, and that will be front palm tree regular. Save this. Now I'll click on this scene, new inherited scene, and again front palm tree as our base. And in this, I'll go back to the stem, edit region, and now this time I would like to select this right one. Okay, so I'll just drag it out, and now I could actually try to arrange it as so. So this is good. Press OK, and now you could Control Z. You could take the previous sprite and actually drag it just below this, and that is good. That looks good, and that would be actually the right one, right? I think so. If I just compare with this back palm trees, so this is left, so yeah, this is the right tree. I can save this and save. Click on this plus, and not this plus but scene, new inherited scene, and in this I'll again front palm base, the stem, click on edit region, and now this time I would choose this one. And for this, let me just make it so that it is actually pixel perfect. Okay, close, select this, drag this just below this, and yeah, that is good. So if you see, when we were selecting this stem in the previous one, you actually were selecting this one. So to stop that, you can select that node and click on this lock. So now you won't be able to actually move this node, but we don't exactly need it, so I'll leave it like that. I can save this, and before that I'll just rename this to back palm tree or front palm tree left. Okay, now I can save this scene, and yep, save. And if I go to this level now, what I would do is in this front palm trees, I'll instantiate this front palm tree left, which would go somewhere here. I would take this and make this as a child to this front palm trees. Click on this front palm trees, and now if you instantiate, it would directly come as a child to that node. So front palm tree left is done, front palm tree right is also there, so like so. And what I want is this to have this regular, okay, not the right one but the regular one as well. Okay, something like that. So you see, the front one is actually above the tile set, and in a way it is penetrating the tile set. So we are good with this, and I can save the scene and actually minimize this to make it more organized. And now if I just run this level, you see all of these leaves are having the animation, and if you observe, this animation and this animation are exactly same, just the difference is the sprite below these. So we're good with it, but now we are seeing that we are not able to collide with it, and the reason for that is we never gave it an option to collide with it. So what I'll do is I'll just close this, I'll go back to this front palm tree, which is the base class. Now what I want is to have some collision, and collision, what I want is to have a collision shape, because I want a way to actually collide with this. So what I'll do is I'll click on this front palm tree. I'll add a node which is the collision shape 2D, and once I do that, you see there are some issues here. So collision shape 2D only serves to provide a collision shape to a rigid body, something like that. And okay, so the two errors are, first, this should be a child of a body, and a second thing would be that this collision shape should also have a shape. So we know the error how to resolve the shape one, and let's see which body can we actually use. I'll click on this and I'll add plus, and let's see what all bodies do we actually have. So we have a static body 2D, animatable body 2D, character body 2D, and a rigid body 2D. So what kind of body is this? Now what I want is this tree to have a platform which is static, it's not moving. So I know it is not character body 2D because it's not a character which we are trying to control. It is not a rigid body as well. It is just a static body which won't be affected by physics or gravity at all. And we don't want animatable body 2D as well. So I'll go with the static body 2D, and for this I'll take this collision shape, make this as a child, and take the static body 2D and drag it all the way to the top. But before that, let's give the collision shape a shape. So for this, I'll take the shape as this rectangle shape, and what I'll do is, while holding Alt, I'll shape it so that it matches the width of this top portion, something like that. Okay, so if I save this, now what you would see is that every child of this would have the same collision shape automatically. You did not have to do this process again and again. So what I'll do is I'll take this one step down, save this, and what I want is this static body 2D to be renamed to platform. Save this, and I'll drag this just below the root of the scene. Save this, and the same things are reflected on all of the children. Okay, so we are good with that. And now let's try it out with this in the level. So if I go here, go to the right and try to jump, I'm actually colliding with this, right? And I can stand on top of it, and now I can stand on top of it as well, something like that. But if I try to go right, I'm not able to do so because I'm actually colliding. So okay, so what I want is this player to be able to collide with this when it is on the top, but not when it is trying to jump from the bottom. So what I want is the one-way collision only. The way you do that is, in this front palm tree, go to this collision shape, and on the way towards the right, you would have something known as one-way collision. If you enable that and you just zoom out, if I just toggle the visibility of the sprites, you would see this arrow, and so this arrow indicates the direction in which you can actually collide with this. So if you come from top to bottom, it would collide, but if you go from the bottom to top, it would not collide. So I can just change the visibility, save this, and if I test the game now, see what would happen. I can go from the bottom to the top, but not from the top to the bottom. So I can go from the bottom to top, not top to bottom. And through this, I can even go right at this position, and I can stand on top as well. And see, and with this, we do have a good working level. And I'll just take this front palm tree, right one, and I'll place it right there. Take this one here and this one down. See, now we do have a level which is actually looking good. We've covered a lot on inheritance, and using those inheritance, what we saw was how to have the palm trees. So that is all about this particular inheritance in general, and hopefully in the next video we'll try to cover some coin mechanics. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.